Welcome back to the May edition of the Library Roadshow. My next guest is an alumni professor at LSU. Marybeth Lima specializes in food, agriculture, and biological engineering. I met Marybeth several years ago through the C-Cell program at LSU, and I followed her work with college student volunteers who go out into the community to build playgrounds for local children. However, it's her hobbies that inspire her writing. Marybeth joins me now by phone to discuss her book entitled Adventures of a Louisiana Birder. Marybeth, when did you get your start as an author?
Pretty early on. I loved writing when I was a kid, and I'd make up stories and write them in books that I created from construction paper. I'd also illustrate my stories and read them to my parents, who were both very attentive and supportive. I was encouraged by several teachers in elementary school, and I took creative writing in high school, where my teacher Todd Evans taught me the basics of story writing.
What's this book about?
Adventures of a Louisiana Birder is about two main things: birds and life. Louisiana is an amazing place to bird. We are one of the best states in the country to bird, but we are also among the most underappreciated. One of my goals in writing this book was to shine a light on Louisiana as a beautiful natural place and to tell some of the stories about the amazing birds and birders who live here. This book is full of stories throughout Louisiana, from Venice to Shreveport. I believe that anyone who enjoys Louisiana and the natural world, or who enjoys people and their stories, will like this book.
What inspired you to write this book?
In 2013, I was celebrating the publication of my first book with the LSU Press with my editor. Over lunch, Elisa said, "I know from working with you on your playground book that you are a birder. I have a question for you. Do you know anyone who could write a story on white pelicans?" "Well, you could do a book about white pelicans," I replied. "But there are a whole lot of interesting birds in addition to white pelicans that could go into a book." I proceeded to tell her some of the highlights of the close to 500 bird species in Louisiana, and when I was finished, she said, "This is your book." My initial thought was no way, and I said so, but Elisa told me, "Just think about it." Our celebratory lunch was on a Friday. Over that weekend, I had so many brainstorms about birds and birding and birders that by Sunday night, I had 3 single-space pages of notes.
How can our viewers learn more about you?
If you read Adventures of a Louisiana Birder, you will get a strong sense of who I am and about my life in Louisiana during the last 5 years. I am a professor at LSU in the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering, and as part of my job, I direct the LSU Community Playground Project. As previously mentioned, I wrote a book about this project that contains a lot about life in Louisiana, as well as what drives me to do my part to make my community a great place to live for everyone, especially children. That book is entitled Building Playgrounds, Engaging Communities, Creating Safe and Happy Places for Children. I also did a TEDx LSU talk called Finding the Soul of the Community, which is available on YouTube. Finally, I am the editor of the Journal of Community Engagement and Scholarship, which is published in hard copy and online twice a year. I write an editor's column for each issue, and I tend to focus these columns around what I'm thinking about in the moment.
Thanks, Marybeth, and good luck on the next phase of your public service projects with our college students.